Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that came out in my state. After I look at this, it's a Philly Voice, but they have a New Jersey section of this local newspaper. New Jersey bill would require seventh graders to learn how to use Narcan. And they mean going to all of the public schools, middle schools in New Jersey, and the seventh graders all have to take a class on how to administer Narcan. Because in this state, the opioid epidemic is through the roof. Shortly after, New Jersey high schools became required by law to stock naloxone, commonly known as Narcan, the opioid overdose reversal drug. Some lawmakers are pushing for students to learn how to administer the substance as well. I don't think it should be mandatory. And here's why. Everybody does not have opioid addicts in their families. Some people do, some don't. I don't know. I think if it should not be mandatory at all. But the way they have this bill together, they're trying to make it mandatory. A pressure push by Democrats in New Jersey State Assembly called for both high school and middle school students to learn the procedures starting in seventh grade, when students are typically 12 or 13 years old. Assembly person Yvonne Lopez wrote the bill, which would also call for education on how to recognize signs of overdose and the dangers of addiction. Juan Carlos Nardello, Lopez's legislative director, told WHYY the bill is a sign of the times. A reported 1,500 deaths have occurred in New Jersey by drug overdose so far in 2018. The highest number of South Jersey overdose deaths occur in Camden County. Our students need to know how to recognize the signs of overdose, to contact a first responder, and should opioid antidote be available, be able to safely administer that treatment, Nardello said. I can tell you why they're doing this, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you at the end of the story. I know why they're doing this. All right, so they have a poll question here. Are seventh graders too young to administer Narcan in overdose situations? And the majority of the people in New Jersey that voted on this poll said yes. 10%, so it's 87.9% of the votes say yes. 10.34% said no and not sure. Those are your indecisive people that can never make their minds up, 1.72%. Now, let me get to the end of the article because I have commentary to give on this story, big time. Opponents of the bill worry if it will encourage opioid experimentation in teens. Support of the bill instead see it as a method of responding to an emergency, not normalizing overdose. Other states have made similar measures to stop Narcan in school to be administered by nurses, but there are no states that have made a mandate on training students on administering. The bill has been referred to the Assembly Education Committee. It has not yet been reviewed by the New Jersey Association of Educators. All right, let me explain why this is happening. First of all, I want you to take notice to who this bill is being pushed by, Lopez, okay? Camden County has a big Hispanic population in it. Hispanics are now the second rising group of people behind white people in overdosing in, especially heroin and opioids. They are really way past Black people. And, I can tell you that's exactly why they're pushing this, because of the Latino population now succumbing to all of these overdose deaths. The second reason why I would be opposed to this is because many of these drug addicts will have residue on their clothing, like fentanyl. So you may have a situation where a seventh grader, somebody 12 or 13 years old, administering um, Narcan, and drugs get transferred onto them and they end up overdosing. I think it puts children that age at risk. You know, what if they see somebody overdosing in a car, and that's the notorious place where drug addicts will do their drugs. They, as soon as they get the drugs in their hands, they do those drugs. So that means the drug is on the seat, residue of the drug is on the steering wheel of the car. So now you expect this child that's 12 and 13 years old to get a hold of somebody in a car, they got to put some kind of contact, make some kind of contact with that person with their hands. And now they overdose. It's happened to the cops, and now the cops got hazmat suits in certain situations. These kids don't have that. These kids don't have that. What if they want this child to go into a house that has a lot of drugs in it? And again, they run the risk of overdosing. And I don't think it's good to have kids in a dangerous situation like that. People OD in all kinds of places, like public bathrooms, and like I said, inside cars, inside homes, and you expect these kids to go out and save them? I think that's dangerous. That's what your emergency responders are for. I would never want a child to go into a public bathroom that's filthy and dirty, trying to save a drug addict, and drug paraphernalia and everything is in there. I don't know. I'm just not crazy on the idea of a 12 or 13-year-old child being in harm's way like that. You don't know. Like I said, the stories are out there with cops that are overdosing, trying to help some of these addicts. They end up overdosing and have to be rushed to the hospital. And I think you're going to risk these children in that situation. I hope they offer a waiver where a parent can sign the waiver and say no. No, I don't want my child involved in that. I don't think this should be a mandatory thing. And as you can see, most people that took the poll said they do believe that's too young. I think the adults should be doing that stuff, not the children. Not the children. Mm-mm. And you don't know what kind of shady people a lot of these people on drugs are. I don't agree. But you can tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Should they be pushing legislation that makes it part of the school curriculum for 12 and 13-year-olds to use Narcan on someone that's overdosing? You may not agree with me. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.